All right. You know what we do. First things first, we gotta always check. Make sure the microphone's still good, even though I was literally just recording with it. Never know. You never know. Music beat still good. Model is a-okay. Okay. Hero girls are right to save the day indeed. First you gotta stretch. Okay. Stretch good? Alright, let's kick it off. Hey there, heroes! My name is Hero Girl. I'm your friendly local neighborhood hero tuber, and this is the Daily Grind. This is that time of the day where we log in and we grind our dailies. Right now we got August 10th, 2026. It's a Monday. It's Monday, my dudes. And tomorrow we've got Hobbit Day. Tomorrow the Hobbit is going to get released on MTG Arena, which means that all of the dailies are going to get reset, so we got to clear out those dailies while we can. And today we got to cast red cards. We got to play red cards. I just finished playing Final Fantasy VIII, so we're going to revisit the Zell deck. We're going to, tune it up just a little bit before we head on out. Kellen, thank you so much for dropping a lurk. Thank you. Also, before I forget, no stream on Thursday. Or at least, I'm not planning for there to be a stream on Thursday. There's always the chance that my wife and I can wrap up our car stuff before stream, and if I can get home and I'm feeling okay, maybe we will still stream, but right now I'm not planning on it. Her car battery's dead, so we gotta take it in and get the battery recharged. Lucky, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you. That'll help with the cost. All right. Anyway. I am just making a couple tweaks here to the old mono red Zell deck here. We're gonna add in some Blood Moon effects. Theoretically, we don't want Blood Moon effects because we're playing so many utility lands. Even though we're in a mono red deck. But I think we're fine. And you just get so many free wins off Blood Moon anyway. So we're just gonna go ahead and make a couple of cuts. We've already put in the new Hawkeye. Hawkeye is really good for red aggro. Skateboard here, Shadow Spear, boots. Those are all fine. Heirloom. Listen, we can run Breeze, but the problem is gets in the way of us actually using a lot of our doubler effects for Zell. Honestly, don't push yourself. If you're not feeling up to it, Thursday, don't stream. I'm not gonna. That's the whole thing. That's why I gave my qualifier. If I'm feeling all right, if I'm feeling all right and I'm feeling good, we will still stream. But no one's gonna be making me. No one's gonna be forcing old Hero Girl to work overtime. I'm just double checking. What are my good? Okay, that Battle Rage is a doubler. Suplex is removal. Sears removal. Raking Claws is a double striker. Order's good. Enthusiasm good. Giant Downfall. Demand Eaters. Stack and Raw. Bulk Up is a doubler. Upgrade is good. I like Stormforge armor. Awakening and Sundering Eruption are both pitch spells. Rising of the Day. Why do I feel like I grab something that could replace? Pain for All is a great card for Zell. Fire Resistance and Pyromaster are just good big red spells. Enduring Courage helps out quite a bit. Forgeboard Phoenix gives Zell evasion. Flamewake Phoenix is just kind of free value that I want to mess around with. Fable Broadside, Bone Crusher Giant. Spider Punk. Oh, hold on. I already have Redirect Lightning, right? Yes, I do. By the way, chat, we just got the ban list for Magic today. We got the updated ban list, and there are no changes to Brawl. Absolutely zero. Which I am moderately surprised by. Moderately. They're saying that no single commander in competitive has more than a 1% share of the metagame. I find that a little dubious, but sure, we'll go with that. Want to trample and haste? Maybe stay. It is a little wild that they are saying that and then not clarifying like whether they mean in platinum or just like in period, because there are going to be a ton of casual people who are still playing competitive Brawl casually. Then they get into competitive Brawl, and suddenly it's like that scene from Independence Day where Will Smith punches the alien and says, "Welcome to Earth." But then again, that's just the experience. As time goes on, though, as more the metagame shifts and settles, as it just kind of travels word by mouth that, hey, you know what? These are the top tier commanders. These are the issue commanders, problem cards, all that. Then I think we'll start seeing some action. Yes, and he did say Earth, not Earth, like some people tried to say. Are people really saying that? I'm not saying it never happened, but like, you know, I don't get out. I live in my swamp and I'm happy there. I live under my rock. We're gonna re-queue. Anytime it goes on over a minute, I want to. Like, I'm not. I believe that there are some people that thought he said Earth, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Reminds me of when my father and I used to argue whenever we would watch The Water Boy. Adam Sandler's The Water Boy. He would swear that the quarterback was saying, no, he would swear that Bob Boucher was saying, "I'm ready, Fred." And I'm like, no, he's saying, "I'm ready, friend." I'm ready, friend. They're friends. That's the whole point of the thing. He's not going to get his name wrong now. People were trying to play, they said, in a very urban way. I mean, like, yeah, that's part of why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying it never happened. That's definitely what the, I can absolutely believe that there are people. Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels. Alright. This is going to be a super fast go wide rush deck. They're going to drop like a ton of different tokens and extra buys, and they're just trying to bum rush us. So our job is going to be to survive that. Play with Fire can help with that. Then we can get NT on board, Broadside Bombardiers, Eruption Skateboard. It's not ideal, but I want to get a couple of weird hands out of the way just to remind myself exactly what I'm fishing for. Also, maybe I just need to, like... Actually, that's not a bad idea. My mom. Those an over side. Okay. See, I can play Goldhound and hold something up. Let's go NT first of all. They started with a forest. I could do the Goldhound and then sacrifice that as a treasure. Prosperous Innkeeper. We can go ahead and shoot that first and foremost because that does give him a lot of life. We can also hold. Well, what am I discarding here? Am I discarding Spider Punk? I'm probably discarding Spider. There's also a world where we actually play out Zell. If we hit a land off NT, we can play that, play Zell, play this extra land, hold up the untapped land, bounce one of the other ones. I would love to draw the Bombardiers right now, but I think getting Zell set up first is probably... By the way, chat, we hit a milestone today. I logged in, get ready for the stream, and saw that we hit 300 on YouTube. Yay! Thank you all so much. Thank you all, everyone on the YouTube side who has been spreading the word, leaving likes, subscribing, if you haven't already. And helping things get going. Okay, so they're gonna go ahead, path to exile NT, that's fine. And put out a free land. Get another land. I don't get to play... Oh, did I already... I have not played a land yet this turn. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah. Zell's out. We can go ahead. Pass the turn. Bounce. That. Okay, we're good. We're good. Losing NT, it sucks, because that was actually going to force do a lot of Zell damage. Oh, thank you everyone so much. Table of the Mirror Breaker. I don't think I care about the at that point. And shoot token here. We can even like shoot this Gold Hound. I don't mind shooting the gold. I can skateboard, tap down the Innkeeper. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. Hold on. Here's Broadside. Here's Gold Dog. Equip Gold Dog. I could throw Gold Dog at the Innkeeper. I think I like that. That is a bolt opportunity. I don't actually mind bouncing the Thunder Interruption here. Because now this means 7 more damage. 1-0, so that's 8 more damage. 8. Throw Zell is 5. If I had thrown that at their face, that would have been lethal. But they also had a life gain card here that just like screws up the math. A Nimpikel. Okay. Untimely Malfunction. Timely Malfunction. At the block. Yes. Okay. Then go combat. Attack with both. Put them down to 8. I still have Thunder Eruption, so unless they have a flyer specifically, I can kill them on the next turn. Also, I do have another video coming out, so you know. Alright, so that'll be 8. End turn. Bounce this land back to my hand. I could shoot them with the skateboard. Actually, that's probably... just in case. Alright, so yeah, now they make a thing. But that doesn't matter because that doesn't have haste. This doesn't... Jitmar doesn't give haste. Alright, Haymar Garrison, sure. Sure? They're still dead on board. Like, even just shooting with Zell kills them. This is destroy target land, by the way. I can break out there. Yeah, sure, buddy. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead. We'll cast Razorkin. Go ahead and destroy their red source. That just gives us a couple of extra red spells. There's no reason for me to play the Needlehead pre-combat. And then I don't even have to like preemptively throw the anything with the Bombardiers. I will just like let Zell punch him in the face. Yay! GG. By the way, it is a Magic Monday because we didn't really do any Wondrous Tales last week. I could pick it up and then try and like double up with the Wondrous Tales this week, but with the car stuff happening this week, and then a short stream week next week as well, because I have therapy. I just don't need that kind of stress. Like, we can give up a week's worth of Wondrous Tales. It's fine. We're in this for the long haul. Oh, that reminds me. We're going to be back on Final Fantasy XIV this week for Final Fantasy Friday. Come hang out with me, Fran, my good friend Nyx. We're going to be doing Warring Triad. We're going to be doing the Warring Triad trial. So if you want to play those with us, by all means, please. After that, we'll be doing Relic and or Hildebrand. No, Relic and Hildebrand, but not necessarily in that order. Maybe in that order. Possibly in that order. We've got some fun stuff to do. Fortunately, the Anima relics, the relics for Heavensward, they're very much a Poetics tome sync. So we have everything that we need for like the one relic, so we can do the story together. I'll be there to watch because I know I won't get in the word edgewise once y'all get going. I mean, look, the point is to entertain, and if nothing else, we are entertaining. I'll keep the 7. I get to go first if the Gemstone Cavern doesn't do anything. But we have Mephit's Enthusiasm to stop him. The Knowledge Knight of Constellor. Yep, that's pretty good. I'll discard the Gemstone to demand answers, I think. And then I don't really get to play Zell right away. Funk. Alright, opponent is passing the turn. Do they have like a Mana Tithe up? Might. Skateboard, you say? Okay. Well, I could drop the Screaming Nemesis now. An Impekel, 2-1, would automatically make something of herself. Let's not get it too twisted. I could drop the Void and start like scrying. That might work better with Zelda. Bolt Bend. That is exactly what I want to keep. We'll keep that for next turn. Drop the Screaming Nemesis. And then I could smash in with this. I think this is a good deterrent. I really don't want them to like... Yep, there we go. So it just eats removal. That's fine. Next turn, I drop the Grotto, play Zell, drop a Mountain. Yep, there's an Impekel. Binosh Knight Captain attacks in. They get a token. I can also just go Crystal Grotto. I want to hold up this. I'll have enough mana to use the Mephit's Enthusiasm. I think is probably the better thing to do off the bat. And then we'll just drop another Grotto, I guess. Mizzium Mortis, absolutely. I'm gonna drop a Skateboard. This feels relevant to my interest to do so. But I can also just like use the maps on Zell. Maybe I'll just use that to get rid of something important. I'm playing this much slower than I want to be. Yeah, they can get an Impekel again next turn. If I get to use the maps, pretty happy. Because if I can hit the 6 mana, that could just Mizzium Mortars wipe their board. Rosy Cotton, yep. Comes into play, make a food token. Whenever you can make a token, put a counter on target creature you control. So that thing gets huge, ridiculously fast. Giver of Runes, also really good. Yep, not what we want to see at all. Alright, Zell gets an extra bit of power. Zell is now a 6-3. I will go ahead and see if we can find extra land. Extra Squelcher, not what I want. I'm gonna start recycling scry lands. And this is hopefully where things don't fall apart, but it's gonna be pretty damn bad if it does. The good news is, if they hit an Impekel this turn, and then use Giver of Runes to try and attack through Zell, well, they don't really even have to do that because they could just, like, throw away their token. But if they did... Okay. Yep. So then... Yeah, they're gonna have to use Giver of Runes to protect Rosie Cotton. So I really, really, really want to find that extra land. Yep. And just, like, punish him. I need a land off the top, chat. Yep. I guess I could use the Bolt Bend and, like, change the target. But that's another creature they control, so that doesn't actually work. I can change the target to... Yeah, that's what we need. Scry... I don't mind that. That could work. Yeah, there we go. Now, even if we lose Zell for like a turn, we'll be fine. Go ahead, bounce back the Void. Like, if the removal of Source Plowshares, that actually helps us out quite a bit. Portable Hole, get rid of the token, sure. I mean, that's good news for us, because if that's the removal that they're leaning on... Okay, yeah. Reliquary Tower, stack, hit Zell, that's fine. Fine. Alright, yeah, makes a bunch of tokens. Layla, Blade Forged. Is that what I want? It's pretty good, and draws those extra cards. That might need to be what I want. Except the opponent has decided that they're done for the day. They went and used Reliquary, which is like Supreme Removal. But we just like got the blowout thanks to Mortars. That's exactly what we need. Damn. Would have been able to go... Maybe I needed to actually put back the Awakening. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to put back the Awakening. I know we're not in a position to really play Stoneforge armor, but Skateboard and Bolt Bend are already like, okay. Yeah, I could see secondly.
You just went boom.
Bane! Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you're enjoying a wonderful Magic Monday. Thank you for joining us here on the Daily Grind. It's that time of the day where we come on and we grind our dailies. And remember, I will keep saying it, guys. Set drops tomorrow. The Hobbit comes out tomorrow, so make sure you get all your dailies out because they're going to refresh everything and you're going to get 3 brand new dailies. So if you're on the free-to-play grind, need that little bit of extra gold, that's what you got to do. And for the record, chat, by the way, even if you can't get a word in edgewise because, you know, streamers are really going at it, like, we do still read the we do still read the notes. We might not always have time to, you know, add, but you're still adding to the conversation. Also, we're up against Emperor Intli the Fourth. This is a very, very, very bashy deck. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the grind. I mean, like, I guess it's less a matter of, you know, whether you're enjoying the grind and more like, you know, whether you're satisfied with where the grind is putting you. Duplex, we can hit a ton of the dorks with it. That's not nothing. I guess I'll keep it. I'll keep it for the chance that we can, that what they do end up doing is lead off on a bunch of dorks. And if not, then rampant growth. Whoops. Okay, I can go with Razorkin, and I think I need to. Very slow start. Not what I want to be doing. Are you also a Brawl only player, or you play other formats too? Right now, I'm playing Brawl pretty exclusively. Okay, that's something to hit with the Intercone Smite. I could play Zell first. Yeah, this is primarily a Brawl channel. We play casual, we play competitive Brawl, but it's all Brawl all the time. If you go on YouTube and check out the VODs, it's also all Brawl all the time. Let's see. Let's go Cindercone Smite. See what happens there. Treasure happens. So now I can go 1, 2, 3. Play Zell. I'm not gonna be able to hold up Bolt Bend on the next turn. But the upside here is okay. I also have the option of like picking up my Awakening. Pick up my Awakening, cycle away, Suplex, Bolt, Nemesis, anything I don't do next turn. I can also just play it out if I really need. I'm gonna do it. It feels a little weird. Especially since I'm no longer able to hold a Bolt Bend. What's your favorite deck so far? Oh, that's a fantastic question. It's not Mythweaver Pock, I can tell you that much. Let's see, favorite decks so far. I could trade Zell with Pock. Ah, God. This means I don't get to drop the Screaming Nemesis. No, it wouldn't work anyway because of the Bolt. Favorite decks so far? That's a toughie. There's a few different decks I've just, like, fallen in love with as we played. Sad to say I'm not going to be swinging with Zell this turn. Why did I attack with the Razorkin Needlehead? Why did I do that? Why did I fucking do that? All right, that's an F6 moment. We're not gonna shame scoop, but that's pretty shame scoop worthy. Honestly, I think one of my favorite decks has been the Matoya deck. I'm a Final Fantasy XIV nerd, so getting to play Matoya on flavor alone is already pretty good. But then also getting to play with her because I get to play with all the 1-drop Scry cards is a lot of fun. Alright, so there's that Caryatid. Remember, Emperor is gonna start doing a ton of crazy stuff. Alright, drop a land, drop a land. Okay, Zell's officially online. I don't mind trading the Emperor. I can bolt the Caryatid right now. Then I can also, like, wait until afterwards to do anything with... Huh. They're at 9. They're currently at 6, 7, 8. 8 is, like, really heckin' good. If I drop Suplex here, right? If I use Suplex to get rid of the Caryatid, I can't play the Enduring Courage, but I get to hold a Bolt and Bend. The Enduring Courage is really good. The biggest problem is that Emperor does just, like, give them 4 life if the creature has toughness 4 or greater. So that might not even be relevant. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll bolt the Caryatid. We'll drop the Encourage. And I will just go ahead and pick up my land for the turn. Definitely fair. Yeah. Fair is fair. So you come into the chat, you got first time questioners get to ask, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite dinosaur? Just like the easiest thing that I can ask off the top of my head. Gallic Readers. Yep, so they get the extra 4. It gets haste. They get to seek a free creature. I hate this card so much. I hate commanders that give, like, just free value for no discernible reason. I hate them so goddamn much. And honestly, I've reached the point now where I try to, you know, be fair. Like, for the record, this is a, you know, a relatively low power card in the grand scheme of things. But I just hate how Commander Design has pushed all these commanders into being self-contained value engines. I hate it so much. Alright, let's think about how we get out of this. We have a Bolt Bend, Screaming Nemesis, hits him, puts him to 9. I guess we just see if they misclick. Now that I'm to the point where I can accept that this is what the game of Magic is right now, I'm giving myself permission to complain about exactly what the issue is. And the issue is 10,000%. WotC, you fucked up. You fucked up. Okay, yep. Alright. Odd relationship with a lot of commanders. I'm larger than Aristocrats player, I would say. Aristocrat's pretty good. Aristocrat's pretty good. I like the Aristocrats play pattern. I love making like a bunch of little bodies and then watching all the blood servant effects trigger. Right now, we do currently have. We can't play our deck because last time I checked, the companion slot was a little bugged. We're playing Zahir and Luris every once in a while. This is still one of my favorite decks because you just get to play all of the 1 and 2 drops. More importantly, I love Zahir's max speed here. Oh, it doesn't let me right click? Okay. Or just whenever something dies, you make a zombie out of it. So I love playing these Doom Traveler card effects that will make a body. You just get like multiple bodies out of one card. So it's so other decks that we like getting to play. I really like my Colossus Red deck here. This is a deck literally just for farming kills for the dailies. It's all removal, and then it wins eventually using Colossus, who is never a creature. You never turn her into a creature because then that actually makes her easier to get rid of. But as long as she's enchantment, only a few decks can get rid of her, and everyone else just watches her and then watches their hand full of removal be completely blanked. I love it. It's also really good against crime decks because crime decks never have a plan beyond just trying to play cards and then hoping that wins. Here's the Matoya deck. I love... Okay, this is like something that I didn't intrinsically build into the deck, just something that worked out. This is our mono blue competitive Brawl deck. So we get to play with Time Warp, we get to play with Force of Will. But the biggest thing that I love about this, aside from getting to play all the cantrip cards that filter, like, you know, your Considers, your Ops, turning those into 1-mana draw twos. So many fairies have Surveil and Scry as incidental riders. So the fact that I get to play Matoya and I get to play a bunch of fairies is one of the best things about this deck. You get to play Oracle the Alpha. Oracle the Alpha is normally not a good card that is like worth the slot you put into the deck. It's a very fun card, but it's very underpowered for the format. In this deck though, it's still a 3-mana, you know, draw whenever it attacks. Same with the Mariner. Ink Mage is cool. I get to play Talrand and Murmuling Mystic. Very fun win conditions for me. I love grind out value. So yeah, getting to play with the fairies from Matoya is a lot of fun. Final Fantasy XIV is like the other game that we play here on the Daily Grind. We do an hour of Magic and we do an hour of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy XIV. Today is a Magic Monday though, because we have all of our Final Fantasy chores taken care of from last week. We get to just do Magic for both hours, especially with the new set coming out. If today has reinforced anything, it's that the old women are to be feared of magic. This is true. This is true. Hey, Fran. Ooh, Tyrant. I love that card a lot. I love small incremental value grindy decks, which really just means that I am a control player at heart. So yeah, I am a control player. I love playing the grind out games. Fnatt is much more of a fair creature deck, but Fnatt is also my favorite character from Final Fantasy XIV. So we do get to play all the legends, and this was the deck that finally made me chill out about the Universes Beyond stuff. I still don't like the Universes Beyond sets, but I at least tolerate them now because they give me good game pieces. Like, I can replace the Duke with the Liliana from Fractured Reality. That much is fine. But the fact that I can have the Duke here as an additional Mother of Runes effect is pretty good. I'm willing to play other cards, even from sets I really don't like, because they are just good game pieces. Hi, Captain Marvel. I get to play like a ton of legends. The Relic of Legends helps with transforming Fnatt a lot. I get to play Umezawa's Yite. So this one's a favorite that sticks around a lot. Funnily enough, this one used to be the Matoya deck. I haven't actually gotten to play it with a lot, but I realized, whenever I play a new set commander, because they aren't weighted yet, I end up facing a lot of the most popular commanders, like High Bay, like Raph and Mikey, that type of thing. Decks that fold really easily to counter magic. I'm already playing Matoya in competitive, so what I'm going to do, starting with this set, is I'm just going to have a generic mono blue control deck, and then I'm going to play the flavor of the month mono blue commander that is currently unweighted. And we're going to do that, and we're going to bully all the High Bay decks, because High Bay decks just can't be control decks. Yes, they have Cavernous Souls. Yes, they have Delighted Halfling, but we have ways to deal with. Ooh, that's fair. I'm a fan of the collab stuff myself, but I get why people don't like them. Yeah, see, that's exactly it, right? That's exactly it. Even if I don't like them, I know so many people who like their specific Universes Beyond. Like, if we're talking, like, philosophically, I don't think Universes Beyond should have ever been introduced to Magic. But they are here, and now we have to, like, you know, reconcile with having them in the game. So, I will not let my distaste keep me from playing the decks that I think are cool or interesting. Like this. Starting tomorrow, we get to actually play Madam Hydra in an appropriately weighted queue. I really like playing this deck. It's mid-range as hell, earning her the nickname of Madam Midrange. But currently, she can't do jack shit against decks like High Bay or Raph and Mikey, so we're gonna wait until, you know, she's a little more in her league. I've got this Galadriel deck here from the original Lord of the Rings deck. This is the Scribal deck. This is the Scry deck that puts out all the lands. We've got Titania here. This is fun because this is like a green control deck almost. It's very landfall focused. We get to play the Dark Depths combo. We have turned her into the Giant Woman every so often. I love this. This is my style of green deck. Probably one of my favorite decks and one of the decks we're currently playing in fucking Spam Call from Ataria. Anyway. One of my favorite decks to play in competitive right now is Jack Garland, Knight of Cornelia. This is Black Red Delver, is what it is. Jack gives us so much value off of casting our stuff. The Surveil 1 ends up mattering a lot for card selection. And then we just get to play like the best red-black cards for disruption. I did put in the Hawkeye Master Marksman. He's really good for red-black aggro. We're trying out Black Widow's Super Spy. My Scoreful Striker is here. We have Spider Punk. All that fun stuff. Pokemon Rezar is kind of an interesting one with the Force of Will effects. As far as the other decks that I really like, I try and keep a variety of decks. Every so often I have to remember to port out a bunch. But I think that hits all the highlights. Yeah, that hits all the highlights. Right now, we are currently playing Zell because we have red dailies, but also I do just have all of the Final Fantasy VIII decks that we made. because we just finished playing Final Fantasy VIII for Final Fantasy Friday last week. So I will have to do some tuning up on Zell. We're going to revisit Renoa, Squall. Quistis and Cypher are also around here somewhere. Ultimisia is going to take some work. Got some really fun decks for sure. Thank you. I love coming up with my own stuff. It's always really frustrating at first when I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with a commander. So I'm a very commander first type of brewer. And it takes a while to get there. But when it finally gets there, oh baby, it's so much fun to just like keep playing it and then iterating with the decks. Now don't take this to mean that I'm not adverse to playing more competitively viable commanders, we'll call them. It's just that most of the competitively viable commanders aren't commanders that excite me, you know? Sometimes it is because they just kind of do everything on their own, and there's not really a fun puzzle to solve with the commanders. But also it's mostly aesthetics. It's literally mostly aesthetic. Like if your top tier commanders are currently things like Nashi, Yuriko, that sort of thing. Those are cool commanders, but they're not really for me. If I cared more about trying to get onto the Mythic grind, maybe, but... Mariner Vedril, so this Magus of the Moon is going to destroy her if we can get this down fast. This is going to be a Rooms Enchantress deck, possibly. Or it's going to be 5-color control. Let's see, Shadow Skull Smashing, Hazard, or Grotto. Maybe the Grotto first. If I go Hazard second, I can still use the Shove Aside. Yeah, I don't need to use the Demonstration, but that's... maybe? Yeah, let's go ahead and lead off on the Grotto. I'll take a Mountain. That helps with my tempo a lot better. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and drop a cave. Fair enough. I also really like to play funny Jane commanders that are weird. Yeah, yeah. One of the things I would really like to do. All right. Spell check. Have fun casting all your Oh my god, really? 4 damage to target creature and opponent controls? Oh my god. They had it. No way, they had it. Alright, they had it. Kudos to them. Absolute kudos to them. You ever see a tapped room? Now you have. Alright, what am I bouncing? Probably the Grotto. I always say, make sure that you can beat Magus of the Moon if you're playing a multicolored deck that looks like this. And they could, so they did. Good old Glassworks, apparently. Alright, so now we've got Frenzied Goblin coming up next. Oh, but can they beat the Blood Moon? Let's see if they can. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of this Wanderer, just in case it drops anything. They didn't play a 4th land, notably, so they are going to be behind. And then even though this doesn't have any, like, text while the Blood Moon is out, I am still going to bounce the Grotto. I could bounce the Shadow Skull and potentially sandbag it, but... And that's GG! This is why if you're playing Mono Red, it's kind of mandatory that you play both Blood Moon and Magus, even if you're trying to do, like, land shenanigans. Because when you get paired up against 3D multicolored decks, sometimes you just punish them. Sometimes you just get free wins. It's also why I advocate for running Harbinger of the Seas if you're running Mono Blue. Alright, that does clear off our red dailies. I'm going to play Zell till the top of the hour, and then we'll swap to a new deck. Because I still want to get more games in to see if we can tune Zell a little bit more. I haven't looked at anything in The Hobbit. Well, not anything, like, in-depth. Part of it's just making sure I don't, like, overwhelm myself by looking at a ton of cards at once. But I have seen, like, the blue-green elves that are coming out. I've seen the new Sultai elf commander. Those are really more relevant for, like, my paper commander decks than Brawl. Alright. And by the way, chat, remember that unless I let you know otherwise, we do, in fact, stream at the same time each weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be your 5 to 7 Eastern. And you can also check out the VODs on YouTube at Hero Girls VT. There's a lot of cool stuff in The Hobbit. Super excited for it. I'm glad. Genuinely. Any cards in particular that catch your eye? Anything worth building around? Give it the old reset if it goes over a minute. By the way, in today's Brawl and not in the section for Brawl in today's ban and restricted update, they noted that on average there is a 4-second increase in the wait time for Matchmaker. Naturally, everyone on Reddit is having kittens over this, especially with the fact that nothing was banned in Brawl. Which, hey, you know what? Redditors will Reddit. But it's also just like, it's funny because that is like the average experience. Nico Bolas, Godfair. Alright. Well, Zell saved us from Ultimisia. Maybe he'll save us from Bolas too. I'm gonna snap keep it. 2 lands and a Ragavand is pretty good. Monkey. Not playing Inti out right away. Cruel Claw's Heist. Okay, so you are literally just doing that. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll play the Lava Spur Boots. Let's go ahead and suit up the monkey. And pass turn. Now Ragavan will be a little bit harder to get rid of. I can still play Inti, but... Opposition Agent. Okay. I can malfunction that. Timely malfunction. Make it so that way 1 or 2 target creatures can't block. Okay. Now I get to do some extra stuff. I can either play Zell, bounce a mountain, I'll shield it down. I could also establish Inti while shielded down. And then wait a turn. I can also use this dual tactics to make so that way the opposition doesn't get to hold Ragavan off. There's some really cool new Gandalfs that are coming. Some mono, some multi in general. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that could work in Brawl. There's usually going to be some cool stuff that works in Brawl. I might be looking at one of the mono blue Gandalfs to play. Kind of depends. Thieving Skydiver to take the boots. Okay. I can go ahead and... Those kicked. Gain control target artifact with mana value X or less. Gotcha. Shatter Skull Smashing. That could be relevant. I do get to play it off of Inti. Think about this for a second. I can also just Fury though. I don't mind just Furying here. Alright. Fury comes in. Yep, we're gonna target that. We're gonna target that. Loop. Go ahead, pay for the ward. And then go and attack. I'm gonna discard dual tactics. I am. They still get my lava spur boots, but I get their fear of ridicule. Yeah, this is literally just Amy's crimes deck. Let's see. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of their library. Exile 1 face down. You may cast that card and spend any mana. I might just dual tactics that twice, just to get rid of it. But I guess we can do that post-combat to find out. Like, giving the crime deck my boot. I guess they could also have, like, hit a bolt. Okay, so yeah, they've decided that only they are allowed to do crime, apparently. Oh, now I just, like, have a braid as well. Actually, no, I don't have to do that. Untap, 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 ED. Tap, 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 tap. Just go combat. Decline. Fear of ridicule. I get Crabomination. Hey! What? You don't like it when your stuff is being crimed? I think it's pretty great. I think it's pretty great to have a game plan that goes beyond just, like, you know, trying to play the opponent's stuff. Abomination. What did they have in the grave? Literally just opposition agent. So it would exile the opposition agent, exile a card from their hand, all that fun stuff. Yeah. Remember, kids, if you're going to play crime, build it like a control deck. Just saying that you want to play your opponent's cards is not a game plan. Playing a control deck with inevitability is a game plan. Very important stuff. Actually, hold on. Didn't some of the Hobbit stuff get preloaded? I feel like it did. Bit of collection. We got the stats. Yes, it did. Okay. Hold on. What's in the Hobbit command thing? Oh, this is like all the... Are they still doing the jumpstart stuff? Hold on. Galadriel's dismissed. Target creature phases out. Each creature... So this is like kicked up to Fairy's protection. It doesn't protect the player, but this has some interesting utility. Okay. Okay. Okay, first things first. Show me legendary cards in white, because that's nah. Dang. Oh my god. So here's the thing, right? Flavor-wise, storage sounds great. But this is going to be relatively hard to track. Relatively hard to track. It's like the City's Blessing, which was already kind of awkward. Oh, right. Yeah, we do get some of the gift box cards, though. So I do like that. So we get Galadriel, Light of Valinor, which I really, really like. Having that as a reprint is really important. Queen of Dale. Oh, right, the Queen of Dale. I remember seeing this one, too. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you recruit. Which is like Connive, except you just make tokens. Which may or may not be better. Show me the blue ones. Alright, chat. Which one gets to be our mono blue commander? Bilbo Luckweaver. The criteria that we look for these Flavor of the Month blue commanders, they're gonna have to be self-sufficient in drawing cards. That is the key here. Or at the very least, they have to be something that you can build card draw into. So Bilbo can't be blocked. Whenever Bilbo deals combat damage to a player, draw and then discard. He loots because he's a rogue. Get it? Exchange control of 2 target non-land permanents that share a card type. I mean, looting is card selection, but it's not card advantage. Might be able to do some things that slot that, though. Bilbo Thief in the Night. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less. Whenever Bilbo attacks, you can cast an artifact instead of sorcery from your graveyard. Exile it. Yet another Bilbo. More Bagginses. When he enters, draw a card. And then scry 2. That's not really what I'm talking about when I say they need to be self-sufficient in drawing cards. Elrond Moonreader. Whenever you activate an ability of a creature, draw a card. This ability triggers only one. Activate an ability of a creature. That would work on looters. I know it combos well with mana dorks. This one could be it. This one could do some tweaking to make the Blue of the Month deck work. Gandalf's a silly one. Shuffle Gandalf into the library, draw 3 cards. And he has Ward 3. Lord of Eagles costs X less, where X is the total power of creatures you control with flying. That one also doesn't work. Draw cards. The real key here is that as long as your mono blue commander draws cards, you're pretty set to play mono blue. This is why the Katara decks are such a pain in the butt to play against. So, like, it might be Elrond, which that could work. Include a bunch of looters, so that way you draw a card on your, you draw 2, discard 1, draw 2, discard 1, draw 2, discard 1. That could work. Yasharn, Implacable Earth. I'll keep this one, even though they're very likely to have a mana dork. Ragavan does not get through mana dorks particularly. But we also have the option of, like, punching through with Enti, and that's what's going to make this really funny. Never mind, it's just Swords to Plowshares. No, they passed the removal check. Alright, so that's just going to start ramping pretty hard. Am I dropping Cindercone Smite? I might be at this point. Yeah, Rise of the Day might actually be that. This represents a land. Cindercone Smite can still hit some... Yep, there's a land for Zell. Loved seeing that. Alright, so... Here's a land. Here's Zell. Here's yet another land. End the turn. Pick up the mountain. Next turn, we've got Koth coming down. Koth deals damage. Never mind. There's Apparition, and it eats our Zell. But it doesn't eat Enti, so kind of okay with that. Let's go. Cindercone Smite. Hold on. I was the starting player, so I'm not going to get the treasure if I do that. I almost shouldn't have. That's... I'm dropping anything. I don't think I am. The Cindercone Smite does actually... I can use Koth. I'll play Koth. Koth minus... Give her the Skyclaves, just so that way he doesn't get kicked back. No need to discard right now. Pass the turn. Next turn, plus Koth. Play Zell. Garrick's Uprising to draw cards off of playing big cards. Okay. Get lost, get rid of Koth. Don't like that, but understandable. Have a nice day. Now we're at the point where we can potentially start converting these lands into other things. Might just be discard the Cindercone Smite, though. Oh, Lizard. Lizard's fun. Alright, re-equip, attach to Enti. Go ahead and explore with Enti. Spike Field Hazard's not what I want. And now we have Teamer Battle Rage as a backup. The Mind Stone and Yasharn. Okay. If they don't block, that's... No, they have to block. Like, there's no way in hell that they can afford to not block. Oh, I can't actually use the map. That's funny. I can't sacrifice the map because of Yasharn. Let's see. Drop the Abrade. It might be drop the Abrade. Which sounds like sacrilege. Oh, hey, Fury. Would not be surprised if they're sandbagging a Wrath of some sort. Okay. So, I lose Fury if I don't do this. So just hard play Fury. That's fine. Submit 0. Play a land. Explore onto Fury. Strike it rich. Throw that away for free value. Pass the turn. Now, even if they do Wrath, unless it's like Farewell or something, then the Lizard is still in play. Oh, we lost Int. What can you do? Wild Slash. Okay. The road. Gotcha. Yep. I will go ahead and search for yet another mountain. It might be worth it to bounce the stone forge. Exile all graveyards? Why? I guess I have a treasure, but I think setting yourself back a land is probably more important, right? Now, the downside is that if they kill Zell, then this sets me back from being able to actually, like, hit Zell. Okay. Okay, we're close. We're close to this being GG. Not Dobbs, that's for sure. Yeah. Jet's brainwashing. Yeah, why not? Oh my god, I think that was the first time we've ever gotten to use Jet's brainwashing. Holy shit. Target creature can't block this turn. If this spell was kicked, gain control of that creature until the end of the turn. Untap it and gains haste until the end of the turn. Create a clue token. So like bare minimum, it's a 1 mana remove a blocker from getting in your way. 4 mana, threaten effect plus a redraw. Pretty good. GG. Alright, Zell's feeling pretty good. Zell's feeling pretty good. There's some work that we can do with Squall, but I want to get some work done with I think. There's a card that got banned today that I keep forgetting is really good for decks like this. Good old Badger Mole Cub. Man, with all of the bannings, it's like... I don't know. I don't know, gang. Keep banning stuff. Badger Mole is going to make like 2 creatures right away. One of them is going to tap for like 2 mana. Then you could probably take out the Night Nurse, I think. Yeah. Got the Night Nurse. We don't really need that. The general idea with this is that we are just going to like span the ground with a ton of creatures. Renoa should be our top end. Generally speaking, if you're trying to make a 5 mana do nothing commander work, you're going to struggle. It's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be a 2-die up block. And the opponent gets to pick which one to apply. Like, if you are looking to be competitive, this is the exact opposite of what you should be doing. There are commanders that do literally everything themselves, And I dislike them because they don't have like a, the deck building isn't as fun. And also, like, they are just so powerful, they're really hard to deal with. By that same token, though, there are commanders that do nothing. And they are also very, very hard to build around. But for completely different reasons. Commanders like these, in fact, exercise the most patience. You gotta exercise a lot of patience. Got tagged on Discord. NFL teams ranked by weight. Heaviest to lightest. Heaviest team in the league. Oh, NFL team names ranked by weight. New York Jets jet plane coming in at well over 3/4 of a ton. Paul Brown Browns at 150 pounds. Okay, that's a fun. God, it's football season, my dudes. It's football season. Judy, Sakashima of 1,000 Eyes with Vile Smasher. Okay. Lamwer Elf. Manadorks for days. That might help us get through. Oh, baby girl. You're playing Maestro Theater. I understand. Before anything else, I don't want them to have like Dark Ritual into an Oppression Agent. So we're gonna grab Temple Guard now since we need an untapped white source. This turns into our Landwar Elves. And now we have a couple different options, depending on how this goes. I would love to go Badger Mole Cub. Let's see. Badger Mole Cub, tap for 2. Kind of doesn't matter because like the Landwar Elf still taps for 2 as well. Play the Mother Runes, but yeah, I'm gonna do it with the Forest. I think just vomit out a bunch of permanents, then we can play Mother of Runes and Restless Prairie on the next turn. It's only bad if they have exactly Toxic Deluge or some equivalent thereof. First, a Lightbringer discards Winter Night Story. Okay, so this is going to be a Reanimator deck is what it's looking like. Might use this to take down to get rid of Light Shatter. Having that 3/3. Pretty big. Arena of Glory, though. Captain Marvel. Ooh, you love to see that. The 4. Reduce the cost by its mana value cost to enter this turn. So now this just went from 7 mana to 6. One, let's see, which we have. Oh boy. Oh baby girl, thank you. How do we want to do this? I can go 6 mana. Do Captain Marvel. And then Mother Runes after that. I kind of like that a lot. I want... I see, no, this adds an additional green, so I can't do that and still do stuff. But you also tap for, like, white. So that's white, white? Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. And then... Hold on to the Bridgeworks battle. Play out the prairie. Pass turn. Alright, Captain Marvel. First Protector on board. They probably have like a bounce. They might have like a an edict or something. Oh yeah, this is absolutely Reanimator. You're discarding they're redrawing. They're trying to go like hard and fast. They would have to bounce Captain Marvel at work. Yep. Okay, so there's Clive and Vial Smasher. That's what they want in play. That's exactly what we don't let. So, Bridgeworks battle first. Oh. Let's go... See, take down the kindling. And then Bridgeworks battle. That's gonna give me a ton. And then I can't requisition because this only this app's for any color. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. Short target artifact. Put a counter on thing. Why trade with Tursa? Exile a card at random. I hit anything huge. Honestly, I have so much mana though. Like they're almost definitely trying to like spike something out of Tursa. Yeah, we're absolutely at the point where we could just like start jamming shit. Okay. Flashback out of the graveyard. Oh, are they trying to play like a super janky combo deck? It might be. Yeah, absolutely look like it. Next turn I can draw Renoa and Mother Runes, assuming that I don't just like literally swing out. 10 plus 6. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to combat. Okay, yep, bounce Captain Marvel, that's fine. Go ahead, here's Guide of Souls. Go ahead, here's Mother of Runes. It has to be a Wrath. If it's a Wrath, I'm actually like really fucking screwed. Overcommit much? Alright, so yeah, Tursa comes down. Tursa's gonna loot some more. They need... It can't be reanimate. It could be like animate dead effect. It could be narcomancy. Necromancy, that's what it is. Okay, Pylon, yeah. Pylon doesn't do anything against Captain Marvel. But also, I can just play Captain Marvel and Mother Runes Protector anyway. Yep. GG. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it was that they were trying to do. If you've cast a non-creature spell this turn, reveal a top 5? It looked like they were trying to set up for a reanimator play. Because what you could do, you could leave in just literally the best targets. So that way when Tursa attacks, as long as you're at threshold, she will cast something that you want. Hard to say. Maybe playing the Guide of Souls was a little much, though. That might have been a little too much of an overcommitment. Any sort of damnation effect with the guns. Which, if they're playing Reanimator, honestly might be fair. It might be fair to play Reanimator like a control deck. So that way you get to just, like, slow down the aggro decks that overwhelm you and mass span the board. Toxic Deluge, you can just pay an amount of life. Your creature's going to be so much bigger than anything that you're wiping off. It's hard to say. For all I know, they could have been like an Into the Breach deck. way, chat, reminder that we will not be streaming on Thursday because we are going to be doing some car maintenance. Very, very important. We live in Vancouver, so the public transportation is actually pretty good, but I still like driving for the simple reason that I get to listen to audiobooks with my wife. We're currently reading the Stormlight Archives art. Or board, Sarah Paragon. This is a really, really slow hand. I can't even play the Rent is Due right away. Patros Humiliation makes this really tempting. But this is no bueno. We're going to throw that back. This isn't much better. This really isn't. Rent is Due requires creatures and or treasures. Sylvan Safekeeper's not enough by itself. I have a ton of lands. The opponent gets to go first. And we're up against Yuriko, who gets to completely circumvent the commander attacks with her activated ability. I don't have early removal to punish her for that. Not in that hand. This hand might be okay. I can keep this one. What am I willing to give up? Draven Inspector's how we like redraw. Mother of Runes and Sylvan Safekeeper. I might actually put back the Safekeeper. And then we're just going to see if this works out. Yep, there's a Fairy Seer. Try too. And then next turn, they're very likely just Yuriko in. So if they do that, let's drop our Mother Runes to get Mom online. And then we're just going to have to see. Because remember, whenever a ninja deals combat damage to us, they reveal the top card of the deck, and we lose life equal to that total. So if it's a dig through time, we're just going to fucking eat 8 damage off the top. Alright, so we take 1, and nothing else. That's good. Toppelgeist could be the answer here. Toppelgeist isn't going to get there yet, though. So Elvish Mystic, Graven Inspector. No attacks, end turn. Now it's whenever it deals combat damage. So right now the Inspector does block Yuriko. I can drop this Abandoned Air Temple. Ah, creature's power toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. And it's also rogue. Yep. So we're going to take another one off Yuriko. And like, at best, it's hopefully like one of those cheaper cards. Alright, yep. We're getting nickel and dimed by the Spyglass Sirens. Okay. I don't want to have to proactively draw with the clue here. Patros Humiliation is pretty... Yuriko... like the biggest problem. What I want to do is actually like have one less creature so the Humiliation can get rid of Yuriko. Go for a redraw. No dice. I'm not ready to play the Toppelgeist yet. Actually, you know what? It's not ideal, but it works. And then what I can do... I can start using the Abandoned Air Temple on my next turn. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Yep. This is target creature you control, by the way, so I can't use Mother to, like, shut those effects down. They are going to keep drawing cards off Yuriko. Oh, is it just instant? Okay, so this will get me one closer to these Toppelgeist. Whoops. Okay, let's talk about this. Deals combat damage, you may draw a card. Yeah, that's the Ninja of Deep Hours. We're not losing life, but we are just like losing on the advantage. They're drawing so many fucking cards. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna play Renoa, and we're gonna have to, like, try and race them. Which is not a fun prospect. I'll have to use this Verdant Catacombs to grab a basic force, I think. I really don't want to have to, like, get domed out of nowhere. If they do a brainstorm, that's really bad for us. Discarding Lantern Bearer so that way they can give their creature flying. You hate to see that. Because that means that Yuffie's just going to start flying. Okay, I can play this Badger Mole Cub. And then... We're still good there? Yeah. Alright. I have Mother of Runes. Right now... Wait, why are they choked on lands? No, they're not choked on lands. No, what am I thinking? Crazy. They think I'm crazy. Yep, 2/4 flyer. Let's see. Instant creature will get there. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and take some free hits off this. I guess I play the Geist now, in part because the Geist can block the flyer. Oh, eaten alive. You hate seeing that. You hate seeing that. This is going to be either 5 mana or sack a creature. They can sack Yuriko, but then the enchantment's gone forever. Okay. So yeah, they make another fairy. They surveil 1. I can attack with the Badger Mole Cub for... Siren, yep. The question is... By doing anything pre-combat... What I would like to do is start swinging in. I can use the Topplegeist. I can bounce... the Ninja the Deep Hours. Let's go... Oh wait, no, the Elvish Mystic could have helped with that. Fuck. Alright, you know what? That's fine. Not ideal, but this is what it is. Oh man, now I could have made my Geist do an extra... I guess it doesn't really matter because it gets jumped either way. Like, they do just take an ass load of damage at this. Actually, 10... I might have been able to get lethal. Maybe. Fatal Push would have killed the token, though. And that's exactly what we don't want. Exile, you draw a card, you lose a life. I will just, like, use the Topplegeist to block Yuffie, I think. Because I need to limit the actual, like, effects they get through. Because we can still just die. We can just still heckin' die from them spiking Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise. Don't forget, they still have Eaten Alive. So they might just be digging for that second piece of removal. But also, we do still have Abandoned Air Temple. Where they're gonna actually... If they go for removal on the Topplegeist, I will Mother of Runes. Target the Topplegeist. Because this is still gonna force him to have double removal. And now it has to be aimed at not the Mother of Runes, otherwise I just get to block Yuffie for free. Okay, yeah, they had the double removal. So now we get to find out if we just, like, die. Because we're going to go to 9. Ooh. There's a swamp. Marginal deck thinning. Okay, I think they're just playing to their route. 1. Up! Target creature gains villages and can't be blocked. Inquisition of Kozilek? That's not going to get there. Alright, and they show themselves the door by reanimating Tetsuo. GG. Ooh. That had me spooked for a second. It looked like they were just kind of like drawing dead. Eaten alive? I think I understand, but like... Because you end up having like a ton of cheap creatures that you can cash in. I don't know that that's good enough, though. Oh well, we'll take that. GG. Badgermo Cub. Jesus Christ. I forgot how fucking busted this card is. The fact that it turns all of your mana dorks into 2 mana producers. Ridiculous. Double check. What are the green I have that I would be ostensibly off by running back? Not too many, because I don't normally build ramp decks. Definitely double check and make sure that I'm playing them in this Derevi deck that I plan on definitely playing in comp at some point. Yep. If you're playing a deck with a ton of mana dorks, play the Badger Mole. Just kind of not a lot of reasons to do so. Or rather, I guess not a lot of reasons to not include the Badger Mole, you know? Ugin Eye of the Storm. I know a lot of people hate this deck, but this is a deck where if you can go burr, if you can just like turbo out, you'll be fine. Esper Sentinel is not a turbo out card, but with the Cultivate and the Wall Blossoms here, I want to believe. The biggest issue is the fact that our lands don't do what we want them to do. Sunpetal Grove is going to be a turn slow. If I hold the Hush Verge, I'll keep this. I'm going to try it. We're either going to get destroyed or not. Fateful Absence can theoretically reset. I don't know if they're going to have a turn 1 play, but they're almost definitely going to have a turn 2 play. And then hopefully Esper Sentinel draws us out of this. Alright, Sunscorched Region. Deal lots of damage. Pass. Alright, so now we'll go Verge into Cultivate. And we're going to try and like get Renoa down ASAP. Once we have Renoa down, then we can spam Warden, Wall of Blossoms, Punch In. Yep, we're going to get that free draw. Patriarch's Humiliation is not a card that we can use this turn. Haywire Might, that's a good one. Alright, first things first. Grab Basic Plains, grab Basic Forest. Next turn we'll drop Renoa, and after that, it's just a matter of the parade here. Alright, that is going to slow them down. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Alright, here's Renoa. Alright. Can we make it? Got Haywire Might. Ooh, Ugin the Ineffable. Not what you want to see. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Think about this for a second. So I definitely need to use the Haywire Might. So here's Patriarch's Humiliation. Get rid of that. Here is Faithful Absence. If I'm willing to like commit Renoa, I can just like attack with that and Esper Sentinel. So what I actually need to do is go Haywire Might. Here is Warden of the Sky. Here is Wall of Blossoms for a redraw. Go Combat. Then Renoa and Angelo over here. Then Esper Sentinel over here. Put 6 power over on that. Next, activate the Warden. Tap, tap, tap. Get lost. Very happy to see that. Haywire might eat. Yeah. Kind of doesn't. It almost doesn't matter, but I think it's eat the Transformer. That's going to keep them from casting Ugin next turn. Next turn, we can have Halfling and Savior. Alright, that's 5, 7. They have enough to cast Ugin. And go ahead and tap, tap, tap. Restless Prairie is not going to help us here. 83 life. This. That GG? I didn't actually math it out. Yeah, that's GG. That's how you beat Ugin, folks. That is how you beat Ugin. Just like, you know, make sure you have enough artifact removal to make them stumble and not curve out the way they want to. And then just jam a shit ton of creatures. Because at this point, even if they Ugin and exile 2 of our things, right? They go 5, 6, 7, play Ugin, exile Renoa, use the 0 ability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I guess don't count the Wall Blossoms, so like 5. We still have 5 creatures that can go wide, and we have a way to, like, you know, pump up the damage even further. It's that easy. It's just that easy. Don't be a mid-range deck against Ugin. Play aggro. GG. Crunchy, 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 crunchy. Ugh. Ow. Ow, my shoulder blades. Okay. Nice. Good. Just don't forget the stretch. Don't forget the stretch. Every half hour or so, just like do a big stretch. Imitate your cat or your dog. If you've got a lizard, I don't know what you do, but like, you know. Okay, we get to go first. Utopia Sprawl. Humiliation is usually good enough for Sephiroth. Scrap Gorger. I'll hold on to this. This seems adequate. Utopia Sprawl, target. That make additional green for us. Because we have double white already. Then we get to play Scrap Gorger next turn. Ooh, and Giver. I definitely don't want to hit another creature. I'll be fine dropping this Rainforest for Surveil Land. Jadar. Jadar's not bad. Ooh, dog. Attacks, pass turn. That's a good dog. Hall of the Ring. Gotcha. Greedy Freebooter, sure. There's no real point for the zombie to attack. If I drop Failure, Okay. If I drop Thalia starts getting big. I can start doing a lot. I can get rid of Sephiroth, but then Sephiroth gets the break containment. But then they always have sack outlets anyway, so... Let's see what Surveil says. Oh, they're doing this during second main phase. Before Jadar comes out. Cultivate. How much do I care about Cultivate right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can play Renoa. I think we're past the point of Cultivate. Yeah. So you get a thing. Here's a dog. Or Borid, you say? That's awfully spicy. Or Borid. Aurora Borearid. Alright, attack with a dog. I can blink out the toad. I think I'm gonna... That. Because now if they go to double block, then I just hit the freebooter. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Alright, that's a GG. Yeah, because so we hit the freebooter. The freebooter loses all its abilities and then it dies, so they don't even get the treasure to scry one. We eat Jadar. We have a giver of runes online, so targeted removal is not going to work. They're not likely to have any sort of board wipes that can stop us. They might have like a meat hook massacre, but there's just no way for them to actually like make a meaningful amount of it. And then we just overrun with the ore board on the next turn. GG. Ooh, free the Wandering Rescuer style. No, that's single card. Okay. Yeah. Overall, I think I like the waiting system better now than I used to be. Used to be that your MMR had quite a bit of sway in the queue. And it led to people really speculating about what Hell Queue was like. So much so that I ended up putting out a video essay about it. But the funny thing is, the way that the queue currently works is actually how, actually going to facilitate Hell Queue much more than what it was before. And so you would constantly have people asking, why is my commander in Hell Queue? Why is my commander in Hell Queue? Yeah, it turns out their matchmaking results number was pairing them up against really, really tough decks, and that was making it really hard to brew around fun low power commanders. So you can, in fact, play low power commanders in order to, bully low power players. The 99 is not weighed there. Hence why we're going to start doing Flavor of the Month blue commanders. It gets really hard if the blue commander doesn't draw cards, though. I'm trying to think. It would have to be Elrond, which means that we would have to use a lot of looters. Which means I need to take another look at my Matoya deck to see how many cards I was including to make her work. It's funny because a lot of the cards that Matoya needs to work are things like the Seer, the Fairy Seer. Cards that just naturally help you dig to find pieces, which is really good for finding situational pieces that you need to be good. Looters are going to be kind of the same way, I think. But Matoya also had 4 toughness. Elrond doesn't. Bruneth, Reviver of the Hive. Is this the... Oh, it's Jackal. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Jackal's. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Jackal's power, copy that spell, except the copy isn't legendary, then put a counter on Jackal. Jackal, 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 Jackal. Haywire Might, Warden of Inner Sky, Glory's Protector, and Badger Mole Cub. Not gonna do it. Let's throw that back. Inspector, Fateful Absence, Apparition, Solitude. Also not ideal. The Fateful Absence and the Skyclave Apparition do get rid of Jackal, though. Also not a bad idea to just, like, have the Thraben Inspector off the bat. Like, normally I should probably be waiting to see exactly what it is that the Jackal player wants to do. But chances are, if they're playing Jackal to do it, we shouldn't be letting them do that. Now, I can double spell here. I can go Ambitious Farmhand into Thraben Inspector with the planes that she searches. Alternatively, I can play the Scrap Gorger into Thraben Inspector. We have a couple of options, especially now that we hit the Shadow Spear. More mana is more good, and I have a land... And the Farmhand makes sure I have a land drop for next turn. But then I can't double spell for Skyclave Apparition. I think it's better to go Farmhand now. Grab that Plains. Guarantee that we have... Stifle! Okay. You got it, buddy. Not what I would burn that on, but okay. That does keep me off the double white for Apparition, so that isn't nothing. Okay, Innkeeper's Talent. That's going to make a giant Chocobo. So this is really just a Hardened Scales deck. Gotcha. Well, we hit our planes anyway. That's good. I can Shadow Spear. I've also got Scrap Gorger and Inspector Thraben Inspector here. If I draw like one more land... No, that's still fine, actually. Yeah, we'll just go ahead. We'll play the Inspector. Play out the Scrap Gorger. Pass the turn. And now I've got options. I can go into Renoa. I can probably equip the Shadow Spear and then transform the Farmhand is what I'm going to do. Oh, District Mascot comes into play with a counter, then they could pay 2. So I am going to have to drop my Apparition. Get rid of it. Requisition rate is cool. That gets rid of Ink's Talent. I've got 5 mana to do anything I want. This would be 2. I would love to use the effect, though. This is 1. Only have 1. That's fine by me. Okay. Pass the turn. Now my Shadow Spear is still safe. But I've also used the removal that I really wanted to use on Jackal. Contentious Plan and Proliferate. Yeah, this is absolutely a Hardened Scales Proliferate. Hope of... Yep, put a counter. Okay, so now I can transform Ambitious Farmhand, but I can't do it... No, I can do it in... I can show you a world. A world where I blow up in... We'll just do this now. We'll eat land so that way there's silliness going on. Attacks, pass turn. Play Renoa next turn, or play Skrelv. If I play Skrelv, I get to play Shadow Spear and draw a card off Clue. Like, they're stumbling on lands. I need to get going. Creature standards with X counters on it. Beginning, you can remove a counter if you do draw a. Thalia. Okay. Honestly, at this point, I think I do just like jam now. Yeah, go ahead. No attacks. Pass the turn. I am really far ahead, and if I don't push my advantage, then we're gonna have some trouble. Go ahead. They can play Jackal now. But I also just get to go Shadow Spear on Renoa. No. Gotta be the Cathar, right? If I Shadow Spear on Renoa, though, she gets to attack in the Chocobo and they have to double block. Pass the turn without doing anything would be super sus. Cultivate is cool. Let's do that, actually. Just grab Plains. And then I can go ahead and go... Here's Thalia. I'm not ready to attack just yet. Alright, now we're set. Let's see, you may remove a counter from it. They spent a turn not doing anything. I wonder if they were holding up like an Aetherize. That would make sense to me. So that ends up being the case. Then I actually want to put the Shadow Spear on the Apparition and then pump up the Apparition. Oh, yeah, good old toxic stuff. Yeah, okay. Now they can't Aetherize. Now we just have free reign to just like smack in. This is until your next turn. Okay, so the Flare of Fortitude is not what I would... Yep, okay. But they can't just like do things for cards. Okay, can't cast the Germination anymore. That's fine. Here's Skrelv. Here is Whip onto the Thraben Spectre, actually, just to like draw more cards. Yeah, onto the Thraben Spectre. Noah Heartily dies, actually? I don't like that. I can hold off one more turn. No attacks, pass the turn. Because then the Pactodon comes in the next turn. It's just like that one Chocobo. This is what happens with aggro decks. You end up having like this one card that walls you or like slows you down forever. And it makes it so much harder to actually like do anything. But yeah, we are just far ahead enough now that, you know, it's inevitable. Practicum, Flare of Fortitude. The real issue is that Skrelv is going to make Renoa unblockable. And that makes the Thraben Inspector just like murder them. I guess we could afford to play that one patiently because they weren't really presenting a big enough clock on us. Like, that's what we want to do with Renoa. We want to gum up the board, and then we want to find a way to get her to punch through. So maybe I should be playing Rogue's Passage in this deck. Play Rogue's Passage, make sure that she can attack in. Pump up just like a big throwaway creature that threatens a ton of damage. Oh gosh. Last week was a holiday, chat. We had a provincial holiday here in BC. I got the Monday off. I spent it with my husband. We played Blood Bowl. It was great. But then it was also Wife Week, so we didn't really get to stream all that much. So now I'm just kind of catching up on all the streaming I missed. Vraska Golgari Queen. The Queen of Midrange. One of the most mid-rangey of mid-range decks. Esper Sentinel's going to be huge here. Thalia also. Helios Punishment is okay, but they sacrifice the thing. Topplegeist is alright. Vraska will Vraska's kind of like a slower Gist. This is only 2 lands, but I will keep this off the strength of Esper Sentinel. It's bad if they Thoughtseize, because then we don't have a lot to do, but they went with Mortuary first, so I think we're... Boop. Good old Boopgeist. I still don't know how effective Boopgeist is going to be, but... Oh well. I could think about playing the Boopgeist early. Don't know that I need to. Hey, Wiremite. Hey, Wiremite. Hey, Wiremite. Hey. Watch your auto tappers. The auto tapper really did not want me holding up green to use the Haywire Mite. They want him. Ooh, okay. Target reveals the hand, choose a non-land, and then I discard it. Well, now they know that I am lacking for lands. Really bad. Honestly, I feel like you almost... Nah, you don't... Nah, you shouldn't be paying for... You should not pay for the Esper Sentinel. Okay. I'm gonna go... Bloop bloop. There's that Thalia. Let's see. So they can't play Vraska, so they're gonna have to play actual factual Roomba. Hey, it's the Badgermo Cub. Badgermo flying in the cover. Then this makes it so that whatever taps adds an extra. And then I really don't want the planes to be tapped for some reason. I guess I could play the Topplegeist and like use the Flare of Fortitude to protect my board at this point. Yeah, kind of like that. Is that worth a flare? Kind of. Might be. I don't want to think it is, though. Topplegeist actually would have been a good deployment early on for that reason. But then they could have just like done this in response. Yeah, I guess Esper Sentinel's just gone then. Alright, so we'll have the Topplegeist deployed. Ah ha! Cheeky. Alright. Yeah, you got me. That's probably going to be the end of it. We wanted to deploy a ton of creatures, and... Oh, now I don't even get to... Faithful. Woof. Destroy target non-land permanent. Well, it doesn't have ward yet, so we can just Faithful Absence here. Boromir. So they can play Vraska, they can minus Vraska, they can kill Boromir. We're good. This is the Slogfest now. And I am on the very, very, very wrong side of history here. Okay, they're just going to cash in the Binding to draw a card. I don't hate that. Alright, go combat. Attack Vraska. Alright, there's Dog. They can pop Vormir early. Okay, they're not even going to pay the mana. They're just going to take the free draw to plus Vraska. Fair enough. They've got a full grip of cards, and I have to pray that they're all blanks. I also have to rip Hotter Than the Sun in order to, like, turn this into an actual, like, beatdown. The biggest issue is that they can just keep replaying Vraska. Any sort of exile means that Boromir can't save Renoa. Any sort of edict effect also stops that. Lotlith the Spider Queen is also really bad, because now they just make a bunch of blockers. Shadow Spear is pretty cool. Shadow Spear is pretty cool. Because now Renoa doesn't just get double teamed. Boromir could still get double teamed. Unless they lose 2 cards, they get to pick 2 spiders. Send Dog there. Noah at Vraska. It's a little bit of a problem because Vraska literally stops the Shadow Spear. I don't know. We're already fighting an uphill battle. Like, Shadow Spear was a hell of a draw, but they can answer it pretty easily. Notably, Loth is whenever a creature they control dies. So if they do go with Vraska, they can still play another 2-drop. They can get rid of the Shadow Spear. Loth can trade herself in for a couple spiders to protect Vraska if they really want. At that point, I don't have good attacks because they're 2/1s. They could also just, like, continue holding up a murder, I guess. Alright, so Loth is going to go ahead and cash herself in for a couple of spiders. Here comes Vraska. Vraska's probably going to get rid of the Shadow Spear. She does. I don't have anything else to do, so, you know. I'm going to need something to help me out here. Craft Gorger is not it. So I think we're just going to call that GG. Craft Gorger doesn't help us out. But we had some good games otherwise. And, you know, it's the end of stream. So let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. We got to play Zell. We got to play Renoa. I'm going to have to do some actual work to make the Ultimisia deck, like, viable again. But should be a lot easier. We can just play, like, Blue, Black, and Troll, probably, I think, is what we end up doing. Maybe. I don't like the idea of having to rely on self-mill just to, like, play. I think in one-on-one, she's fine as, like, a 4 or 5 that helps you with card selection, kind of like Garland. And then you get into those scenarios where you get to just, like, eat a bunch of cards away for an extra turn, then you've got an 8/8 Menacer finisher. I think that could be good. Anyway. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. If you're over on the YouTube side, hey, thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the 300 before you. Tell people about the stream if you think they'll enjoy hanging out. We're going to go ahead and YouTube there. Bloop. And then over on the Twitch side, we are going to go ahead and raid out. It's a very sleepy Monday, so